Hey, it's Rachel, and as I record this, we're close to the holiday season, and as you all probably know, the holiday season is notorious for parents getting frustrated because their kids are fighting all the time. So I want to talk to you about what we do that actually could make our kids fighting worse. Now, I will say ultimately, I think it's up to us to let our kids work through some of their problems and not always intervene when we're handling sibling issues. But we can't expect kids to be able to do this until we actually teach them how to resolve their conflicts. But the first step in all of this is to stop doing what we traditionally do when it comes to sibling fighting. Because what usually happens is, let's say your son is mean to your daughter. You're probably going to go up to your son, and because he's been mean, you're going to say to him, "How dare you do that? How could you act like that? You know we don't do that." You're going to get mad at him. You may even threaten to punish him. Well, the truth is we may be thinking that if we are mean to our kids or we are very clear that that's not acceptable by making them feel bad, that all of a sudden they're going to behave more positively because they don't like how that makes them feel. But that's almost the opposite of what happens. When we make them feel bad, they don't actually think, "Oh, now I'm going to act positively." Instead, they get even more upset because no one is caring about their perspective. I mean, look at it from your point of view, even as an adult. Let's say you're arguing with someone, maybe it's your spouse or a friend, and another person comes into that situation and tells you in the middle of this argument that you are wrong and that they're going to punish you if you don't stop arguing. You're heated and you really want to make your point, but you're going to get in trouble if you don't stop. You're not probably all of a sudden going to think, "Oh, okay, now I'll behave more positively." You're actually going to be angry with the person who told you to stop. You're probably going to be even more frustrated and get even louder and more angry. And that's often what happens with kids. We make them feel worse for their behavior, and then their behavior doesn't get any better. So what do? Let our kids get away with mean behavior? Absolutely not. What we do, though, is we understand what their perspective was in that situation. So you'd think to yourself, why was my son yelling at my daughter? What was going on for him? Was it because he was really upset and he was taking out all of his upset on his sister? Was it because he was just being really self-centered at the moment and he wasn't having any empathy for his sister? We take that information and instead of making our kids feel bad for their lack of skills, we teach them and we help them. So let's say your son was mean because he was in a bad place and he was taking it out on his sister. Well, he doesn't yet have the tools to do something different. In fact, a lot of adults are missing that tool. We don't know how to be in a bad place and still treat others with respect. So instead of making him feel bad for being a kid and not knowing how to do this, we teach him how to do this. Or let's say he was in a position where he was only thinking about himself and not thinking about his sister. He's lacking empathy, and empathy is something that we can teach him. So instead of making him feel bad, which is going to lead to negative behavior, we can actually teach him and help him. Now, of course, this is not meant to be permissive. You still need rules. You still need boundaries. But what we're saying to our child is, this behavior is not acceptable, but I'm aware that you're struggling with something and I'm going to help you with it. So instead of making them feel worse, we are going to take the time to teach them how to follow the rules in our house. Often we just make sibling fighting worse because we're making one or both of the kids feel bad, and that just makes behavior all cycle out of control. So I hope that gives you some ideas for your first step in improving sibling relationships is understanding why they're being mean to each other and giving them the tools to be successful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at rachel@rachel-bailey.com. I'll see you soon.